Coming up, government ministers sharing what the Grand Lucayan Heads of Agreement means for this island. A suspect caught on camera as he tries to break in a business establishment.
For treatment, is this a shrink office or a hospital?
This is therapy, Mr. Taylor.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news, within the next 90 days, a deal signed for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan property is expected to close. And when that happens, Holistica Destinations will then take on the employees needed as it prepares for its redevelopment phase. Now, the road to the sale of the once thriving hotel property has been a long and difficult one, but government officials believe all of the challenges are behind them now, and the property is headed for a magnificent turnaround. Megan Shepard reports.
Anywhere from the next 4 to 6 months, you'll start to see people, resources, construction infrastructure starting to ramp up.
This day could not come fast enough for me, but the wait was well worth the outcome that we are announcing today.
The island of Grand Bahama buzzing with excitement and anticipation as the Grand Lucayan Resort has officially been sold to Holistica Developments. Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, noting that the Heads of Agreement is a good first step in the journey to getting Grand Bahama's economy back on track.
This was never about buying and selling a hotel, but creating a new and unique tourism product that would bring thousands of jobs, a new water park, guaranteed airlift, millions of cruise passengers from a variety of cruise lines, and hundreds of business ownership opportunities for Bahamians.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dionisio Diaguilar, reflecting on the heavy criticisms the government received for purchasing the Grand Lucayan property. He says the government is elated that their plan to save jobs and then sell the property to a reputable organization is now coming to fruition.
The government could not, should not, and did not heed the advice of our naysayers, who screamed from the hilltops that we should let this hotel close and deteriorate into nothing. As Minister of Tourism and Minister with responsibility for this property, I am extremely excited that the intended purchasers of this hotel are Royal Caribbean and the ITM Group. Between them, they are well funded, bring to the table a great deal of experience in the tourism sector, and have a proven track record of successful projects. This hotel is to be transformed. Hundreds of millions of dollars are to be invested in this property to refurbish, renovate, and reconstruct 500 rooms in Phase 1 and another 500 rooms along with 500 villas in Phase 2.
Now, the sale of the property includes upgrades that will commence in 2 phases, as well as upgrades to the Freeport harbor. Once complete, the harbor will have berths that can accommodate the world's largest cruise ships, ushering millions of passengers per year.
Additional features will include a new casino, a spectacular water theme park, and a new shopping, restaurant, and retail center. Add to that the new cruise port that is to be built in the Freeport harbor to accommodate 3 ships in Phase 1 and up to 7 ships in subsequent phases. And one will quickly conclude that this entire project, hotel and water park right here where we are standing, plus new cruise port, plus attractions down at the Freeport harbor, is absolutely monumental for tourism in Grand Bahama.
The tourism minister says that there is a great need for a catalyst to bring Grand Bahama's tourism product back to its glory days. He says he is confident that this project, along with others in the works, will bring about hundreds of entrepreneurial and employment opportunities.
This project, along with another recently announced cruise project, involving hundreds of millions in construction and 1,000 more jobs, are to form the catalyst for the rebirth of the tourism industry in Grand Bahama. We are extremely hopeful that with this signing today, optimism for a bright future will return to the residents of Grand Bahama.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Now, while the signing of the heads of agreement brought great excitement to Grand Bahama, new developers say there's much work to be done to restore the property to world-class standards. President and CEO of Royal Caribbean International, Michael Bailey, breaks down how the project will unfold and the timeline for work to begin.
Anywhere from the next 4 to 6 months, you'll start to see people, resources, construction infrastructure starting to ramp up, and then work will start in earnest because, as you can see, it's a massive project. So the building that we're in now, I think, is this building, so this will remain, but it's going to be completely renovated. All the rooms, all of the public spaces, everything will be new concept, new design, new renovation, new windows, new everything. And then this hotel here will be removed, and then the convention center will be renovated, and this hotel will be renovated, but not in the phase one. It'll be renovated in the second phase, and then new retail, renovation of existing retail, etc., etc.
Now, the island has been without its sole casino since the passing of Hurricane Matthew. Bailey says that gaming facility will also be brought back to life.
The casino will be part of the overall experience, and obviously it will go through a renovation and with some new gaming concepts that will come into that experience. And just as the entire destination itself will be something new and different, our intention is to make the gaming component of that experience enjoyable for those customers who like to game, just like we have on our ships.
Well, the Grand Bahama Port Authority also welcoming the new developers on the Lucayan Strip. They hope this new multi-million-dollar investment will further solidify investor confidence in the Grand Bahama economy. Our Italia Hall picks up this story.
The historic signing on the Great Lawn of the Grand Lucayan property attracted hundreds of Grand Bahama residents from the private and public sectors. Among them, executives of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Executive Director Rupert Hayward says he is thankful to the government for acquiring the hotel property and facilitating the sale.
I think this is the catalyst for many, many good things to come. In fact, we know there are other projects. I think other very good news will be coming shortly, which will boost the economy, provide jobs, and set Grand Bahama on a sustainable future that we all know we need.
President of the Port Authority, Ian Roll, says he is confident that the new owners will transform the Lucayan property.
To create a true destination to draw many more persons to this island. So this is just the beginning of what's to come. This year is the turnaround year for Freeport. We have a representative here from Carnival. As we've said before, Carnival is also going to do its own port here in Freeport. And they came to support Royal Caribbean and ITM because all of the various different types of development, it helps the next to draw attention to the island.
Roll says the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan is just one of the many projects to come on stream. He confirmed that the Port Authority has additional projects in the pipeline for the city of Freeport.
We're working on a 300-acre master plan development, medical tourism development, also a project in the downtown area. And all of this helps. It gives the financiers confidence that things are happening in Freeport.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. Well, in other news, a business owner capturing an alleged perpetrator on camera. Tonight, she's warning other business owners to protect their property through surveillance.
I personally believe I was targeted because they didn't bother with anybody else in the building.
Business owner Lisa Davis says she was shocked when she entered her business establishment and realized that someone tried to break in.
Upon approaching the door, I noticed my handle was tampered with, and trying to put my key in, I noticed there was stress and strain on the actual handle, trying to turn the key. And as I opened the door, I noticed there was some particles and some broken pieces on the floor. And so I went back outside. I looked at the door and I realized, okay, they tried to pop the peephole out.
She says the incident left her feeling uneasy.
At a point in time like this, after suffering through Dorian, as a community, we should try to be more community-minded and looking out and trying to help each other. And someone like myself that tries to give back so much, it does make you feel a certain way that, you could be targeted for something like that.
But the good news is, Davis says this is a picture of the perpetrator. If you know him, she's asking you to call the police.
We actually do have surveillance there, and so I do have an image of that individual. A number of people have reached out to me saying that they know who this person is and who they feel it is, and so I've just turned the matter over to the police, and we'll see what happens from there.
And she gives this bit of advice to other business owners.
It is very important to have your property protected by surveillance, because that could be the difference between you knowing who the culprit is and having as much information as possible to protect yourself.
Meantime, 66 Grand Bahama residents graduating from the Ministry of National Security's National Neighborhood Watch Council training program. The participants are now tasked with finding solutions to the challenges within their local communities. Permanent Secretary in the ministry, G.B.P.A, on hand to commend the group for their partnership in the fight against crime.
So this year, our primary focus includes crime deterrence, youth violence prevention, strategic intervention and educative programs and initiatives, and the implementation of National Neighborhood Watch youth arms. Because the youth constitute over 65% of the population in this country is under 35. And so that generation gap, that communication gap that used to exist and that kind of exists between young and old people, we have to bridge that. This Bahamas of ours must avoid becoming a community of dreadful violence, fear and hate, and be instead proud islands of mutual trust and respect. We must render crime, division, and hatred impotent and obsolete. And this is the mandate of the National Neighborhood Watch Council.
Participants in the program, Lillian Walker and Daniel Murray, are hoping to make a difference in their communities.
Well, I look forward to networking and partnering with my neighbors and to ensure that we continue to experience a safe community. One of our block captains, she has already decided to plan a block party for the month of March, so we'll begin working on that.
This and what we're doing today is going to give us a chance to connect and bridge the gap between the police, the community, and hopefully get some young men out of court that don't need to be in court, from my view, okay? If this is done properly, it should alleviate a lot of pressure in the community.
Coming up, ZNS Northern Service focusing on mental health as Healthy Lifestyle Month gets underway.